Hello, my name is MegaNova, and I suck at finishing anime, but I finally got around to finishing Bloom Into You from last season. I hope I will get around to finishing some of the other shows I started from last season. And I have some other shows that I have finished that I still have yet to talk about. I'll try to get around to it. I know I've been a bit lazy and just been doing shitty reaction videos, but I'll try and get back into it. But yeah, so I just finished Bloom Into You, and whoo boy, is there a lot to dig into. So I'm gonna try in case anyone here hasn't watched it yet, I will start with just the general synopsis of it, and after that I'll get a bit more into the spoilery stuff, because I need to discuss like some of the pretty fucking heavy stuff that goes on in this show. Okay, so general premise. We have Yu and Toko. Toko is the student council president, and Yu is this girl who, I wouldn't call her an otaku, but she's like. She's read a lot of shoujo manga, a lot of romance manga, and that's her only like reference to what love is. But she's never really had those feelings herself, so she doesn't even know if she's at all capable of loving. So that's kind of her standpoint. And then we have Toko, who is who at first seems to be this like super perfect girl that everybody loves, everybody wants to date, and she has to just basically on the daily reject people left and right because she doesn't have any feelings for anyone else either. But it's still sort of in a different way from the way Yu is, and also generally. Toko is generally a bit more outgoing. Yu is a bit more standoffish. But like sure they have those character traits, but that is not at all everything that defines them. There's plenty of stuff underneath to get into. I won't spoil any of that right now though, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on. But that's basically like the main premise. And like the first episode is basically about how they end up meeting, and Yu joins the student council, and Toko basically falls for Yu. Partly because she doesn't express those kinds of strong emotions towards her. It seems like it's basically because she's the one person who doesn't have like heavy feelings towards her, or doesn't express them anyways. That seems to be what is attracting her Toko to Yu, which is a bit weird in my mind. But at first it's like it's kind of cute, and we're like, okay, maybe you will like, but actually we don't even know that yet. At first it's okay, yeah. Now we're gonna get into some spoilers. At first it's presented like, oh, you just need to learn how to love, and then the relationship will work out and it'll be all good. But then we get into the fact that, or they start discussing some philosophical things like, but if the person starts changing after you've started dating, is it still the same person, and would you then still love them? And that kind of blew my mind that this show like just went there. Like I've kind of like philosophized about stuff like that myself, but I've never really like put a lot of thought into it, but yeah, this show just kind of blew my mind, because then we get like direct confirmation that that Toko actually really doesn't want you to fall in love with her. And at first, it's presented as, we see it as like, oh, it's because she's kind of selfish, and because she actually prefers it when she doesn't love her, because everybody else seems to love her. But actually, we find out it's because she hates herself. And the way she expresses it is, how could I love somebody who likes the things that I hate? And it's just like, fuck. And part of why she hates herself is because her sister died 7 years ago. Man, I'm jumping around everywhere, but there's so much to get into, and I'm not sure what to talk about in what order, but... So, her sister died, and she never got to finish the student council play that they were planning to make. Oh, for fuck's sake. Shitty webcam. Oh, come on. Oh, there you go. But, so... She never got to finish that play. And Toko also basically thought of her sister as being this perfect paragon of everything you should strive to be. But she then later finds out when she meets, because they are doing this play, and to help them do this play, the teacher, who's like the advisor, counselor of the student council, she brings in this student who was on the student council with the sister, because they're in a theater troupe together. So she feels like, well, he has a relation to the school already, so she brings him in. Toko then talks to him, and he's like, oh, your sister, Mio? Oh, she wasn't perfect at all. Like, she would often, like, drag us around. She would make us, like, do her homework for her because she hadn't done it already, and all this kind of shit that kind of just shattered Toko's reality, and she's just like, but if my sister isn't as perfect as I pictured her, then what am I? Because she has like two different personalities, basically. She has the one where she outwardly seems to be completely perfect, and everybody likes her, and that's why everybody, falls in love with her, because she seems to be just completely perfect. She has high grades, she does great at sports, like all that cliche bullshit. But instead of that being her actual character, which in a lot of other shows or a lot of other manga, that would actually be the case. Like, you have the student council president, and she's just this perfect paragon, and she could do anything, like just this, yeah, basically just a perfect person, right? But we then get into her actual psyche, and when she's around you, she allows herself to become vulnerable and shows her real self. The real her who actually does get nervous, who is basically an emotional wreck for several reasons, mainly because she's trying to live up to her sister's image. And like, there's just so much to dig into in this show. And I am pretty sure I'm gonna go read the manga after I'm done with this video. And it's just like, this is some really heavy stuff. Like, just a sec. I've taken screenshots of some of the like various lines that have been said. So Well, I only really got back into it like halfway, like halfway through, because I watched like the first 6 episodes. Actually, the first 5 episodes, and I've been binging through the last 7 episodes. Actually, 8 episodes. I've been binging through the last 8 episodes since yesterday, and finished it now. Oh yeah, I didn't actually take that many. It was just of the thing where it's like, don't fall in love with me, okay? Because, you know, I hate myself, and I can't be in love with someone who likes the things I hate, right? Well, first of all, that's not really a very healthy way to look at it. Like, if we just take it on a, like, more banal, approach, it's like, well, just because I like metal doesn't mean that I can't date a girl who doesn't like metal. Or that she can't date me because I like metal and she doesn't. That's probably the better parallel. But, you know, that doesn't make sense, right? Like, you know how they say opposites attract? Yeah, that also often means opposite, or at least different interests. And of course, there's probably going to be things that you dislike that your partner likes, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. But, I mean, sure, of course, there's that depends. I don't like murder, and I probably wouldn't want to date a person who does like murder. But now we're just getting pedantic and getting into extreme situations. The base sentiment still stands. You can date someone who likes stuff that you don't. But it's just, she has this intense self-hatred. And, because, also partly because when her sister died, everyone around her were just like, oh, you should be more like your sister. You need to live on for your sister. And she started becoming more like her sister, and people started liking her more because she started being like the image she had of her sister. And we get further parallels because Yu then asks one of her classmates, who is a writer, hey, why don't you come up with a script for the school, for the play we're gonna do? And like she's like, oh, but she wants like ideas to how she kind of wants to write each character around the different people in the student council. And she starts off with Toko, obviously, because, you know, she's the big popular one. So she had already planned, oh, she's gonna be the main character, obviously. But she's like, but the problem is, she comes off as this perfect person to everyone around her. So she doesn't know any of her problems or flaws. So she asks you about it. You does know about plenty of her flaws, but she can't tell anyone about them. For various reasons. One, she doesn't want to shatter her image. Two, that would probably, like, probably expose them as that they have a bit of a closer relationship than some people might think. And that wouldn't be a good thing either for them right now. It's just like, oh boy. I know I'm basically just recapping everything that's going on, but I think I just have to vent. I think I just need to talk about what is going on here because, But she then starts to write the show, and it ends up I don't even remember how she got that idea, but it's basically like, but what if her character is that she's outwardly perfect, but people I don't even remember how she gets to it, but she ends up writing this play where this character has amnesia. Don't turn off yet. I know it's usually a shitty writing ploy, but it seems to actually work here. So what she does is she writes a story about a girl who has amnesia. She's in the hospital. She can't remember anything, and she's like, she wants to know who she used to be. So she ends up talking to the people who come visit her. Which is, what is it? I think it's one of her classmates. Her sister and her female lover. And the whole thing is, she ends up being, but I would figure the real me is the one I would be around my lover, so obviously that's the personality I should adopt. But they later realize, no, that's actually kind of stupid. She shouldn't just adopt a personality. She should just be the new her that she is after her amnesia. Like, she shouldn't try to strive to become something that she isn't. She should just be the person that she is now. And sure, the whole amnesia thing is basically like a reset button, but basically, I think the show is trying to tell you how stressful it is for a person to try so hard to live up to being another person that you forget who you are yourself. Man, there's so much to unwrap with this show, and the manga isn't even done yet, and the ending was like super open. We don't even get to see them actually perform the show in the anime, because it just ends after they go to Aqua World or whatever it was called. Just, whew. I don't even think I'll call this a review. This is just me fucking rambling. Oh, fuck. But yeah, I mean, that's basically, I think that's all I can really talk about now. She also says several times, like, I'm going to become my sister. Again, that's just not healthy. You should just, try and strive to be yourself and be the best version of yourself, not try and be somebody else. But yeah, I think that is the moral we are going to end this on, because I'm just going to keep on repeating myself and rambling. So I think I'll just end it here. But if you actually made it through my incoherent rambles about this amazing show, thank you. Thanks a lot. And if I didn't make it clear already, you should absolutely watch this show. If you have oh my god, why is my camera like this? Okay. If you have any interest in anything I said, or just want to watch a good lesbian romance, absolutely go for it. It actually has... Oh my god, no, wait, I can't stop it yet. We didn't even talk about the best friend. Sayaka. Sayaka, she's the best friend to Toko. She happens to also be a lesbian, because of course, there's always gotta be. But, yeah, in my rambles, I completely forgot to make a point that I wanted to start off with. One of my favorite things in this show is that, of course, it's a romance, there's gonna be drama, but the majority of the drama is internal and just between the two main characters. The only real external drama we have is with Sayaka and the fact that she also has a crush on Toko. but she doesn't know that Toko and Yu has a thing going, but she just knows that Toko doesn't seem to be interested in her in that same way. So she's very conflicted about if she should make her feelings known or not. And it's just... And she's also, you know, an actual character. We find out that she basically finds out she's a lesbian because in middle school, she had this friend who they started dating. And she was like a year older than her. She then goes off to high school. They then meet each other again because they barely saw each other during that time. But when they then meet again after summer break, she's like, oh, but it was just a phase. You know, girls don't date other girls. That's just weird. So Sayaka, she goes around thinking she's super weird. And then hear about Toko and says, she can't be that great, right? And then she sees her and she just completely falls for her. And that's a whole thing in and of itself. I mean, I know I basically spoiled everything that goes on, but I can't with words properly convey what goes on. Like, the animation sometimes is a bit sketchy, but it's like, it feels like that they were like budgeting a bit. So like, okay, some of the less important scenes we can afford to have the art and animation not necessarily be that pretty, but in like the important moments, holy shit, this show can be gorgeous. Like, just look at the fucking opening, like, and all the fucking symbolism in the opening. I can't even begin to analyze that because I'm not smart enough at all to go into that shit. I hope Mother's Basement does a video on this, but I don't know if it was actually popular enough for him to do that. But I do really hope he does. Or at least talks about it in some capacity. Cause, oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go read the manga after this. I don't know if I'm gonna start from the beginning or if I'll just pick up where it left off. I don't fucking know, but yeah, I need more. Okay. I think that's all. If there was more, it probably wasn't too important. But if there is more to discuss about it, and you want to discuss more about it, please feel free to leave a comment. Whew, I'm gonna have to chill a bit. I think I'll go buy some groceries. Okay, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed my completely off-the-wall rambles. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.